What's good, hooligans? It's your boy Myron McRae, a.k.a. Tornado McRae, across the skies of the internet, here with another episode of Panthers Pride TV, your one-stop shop for all your Panther notifications and your Panther obligations. And guys, happy Thursday. It is Friday, Junior. You know how we get down. And please, I need you to make it to Friday. I need you to make it to the weekend. I need you to make it to Margaritaville. I need you to make it to the taco stand. I need you to make it to the steak restaurant, the Brazilian steakhouse you got set up and lined up, bro. Because you can't crash out on that coworker and think you're going to make it. They're going to call HR. We're not at a Coldplay concert. It's not going to end well. But, guys, sorry. I think I'm about to sneeze, but I'm not going to sneeze. Anywho, guys, we have to get into... Hold up. Ooh. 2. All right. Woo, there it is. I knew I was about to sneeze, man. I knew I was about to sneeze. It was only a matter of time. But I'm sorry about that. I apologize. Let's get back into the ledger. So, few takeaways from day 3 of training camp, the first official day of practice at training camp. And here are some takeaways that I saw. 1, Trey Swilling, he did sign with the Carolina Panthers Wednesday morning right before practice, so that was good for him. And he was added essentially to fill depth in the secondary. We'll talk more on that here in a second. Number 2, Ethan Garbers was waived and leaving only 3 quarterbacks on the roster. First of all, I do got to say this. Before I continue. Shout out to Carolina Panthers on the Charlotte Vibe, specifically. Shout out to the Charlotte Vibe for putting together such great content. On their YouTube channel, they had video footage of the practices from the first couple days, and I was able to get a grasp of that. So, Charlotte Vibe. If any of y'all who follow the Charlotte Vibe, subscribe to them, let them know, tag them in this video. Let them know. I would love to collab with them so we can speak Carolina Panthers football. I think it would be great for both platforms. Grows their platform to more people, grows our platform to more people, and we can make something beautiful work. So, to the Charlotte Vibe, let me know, man. We can make something happen. I'm extending the olive branch. I want to work with y'all. But going back to this list, again, number 3, I saw Jimmy Horn Jr. He was catching punts and kickoffs and was actually really smooth with it. I loved it. Number 4, Damani Richardson, he actually had an interception on Bryce Young throughout the day. And lastly, edge rusher Princely Umamu ended the day with a strip sack on Bryce Young.
Woo! Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for.
So I do have my couple takeaways and my thoughts here. Number 1, I feel as though we should have signed a different DB or corner outside of Swillings, man.
Huh?
Yes, I definitely feel like we could have gone with a different DB or corner. I'm not saying Swillings is bad by any means of the imagination. Please don't get it twisted. But when you have a guy like, say, Asante Samuel Jr. still sitting there with the availability, and somebody please let me know if Asante's gone. I don't think he is at the moment of this recording. But if he is, that's actually going to hurt if he is. Because I know Blackman in the comment section, somebody let me know. I want to say it was Trizzy 2009. I want to say he let me know in the comment section that Blackman has already signed with New Orleans Saints, so he is now off the board, and that sucks, man. It sucks. Carolina, I wish you could have moved faster on that. But 2, I don't think we needed 4 quarterbacks, so the Ethan Garbers waiving him makes sense to me. We have Bryce, we have Andy Dalton, we have Plum. I genuinely think we don't need 4 quarterbacks unless you're utilizing all of them. And we're not. So we don't need them. Number 3, Jimmy Horn catching punts and kickoffs. Like I told y'all, I think he is going to be the best kick returner in the league this year. or at least one of the best ones. And it's going to be kind of scary, bro. I'm actually looking forward to it. One, Damani Richardson highlights are always good highlights. If Damani is improving and being better, I love to see it. I love to see it. And lastly, Princely Umamiela has honestly been my sleeper on this team since the draft. And I don't know why he's not getting the love he deserves. Maybe he hasn't been performing well. I don't know. I'm not there in Charlotte to see the practices firsthand, first take, no mistakes. Put it in the oven, easy bake. I'm not there. But Princely, I think, is going to ball out. And I genuinely think he's going to be one of the rotational starters, if not a full-time starter by the end of the season. And that's where I have that. And we're moving on to something of a surprise. So, Frank Reich actually spoke recently on Bryce Young's rookie year. And it's kind of shocking considering what happened. But here's what Frank had to say. Frank said, let me make sure. There we go. So, in regards to his rookie year, Frank said this. Frank said, it was terrible for him. It was terrible for all of us who were a part of it. There were so many things to unwind there before it could get going in the right direction, and that just takes time. Sometimes you are given time as a head coach, and sometimes you're not. I'm happy for Bryce. We all know he was a good player. And then Frank followed it up with this statement. He said, to me, I still hold the philosophy that if you're the first pick in the draft, you're starting. To me, that's a universal football principle. You're drafted number one. You're starting week one. Now, if the rest of the roster isn't ready to support you, that's a different question. And sometimes it just takes a younger guy time to develop. And I'm going to say this for Frank in regards to that statement.
Woo! Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for.
I have been telling y'all, it's okay if it takes Bryce a little bit of time to develop. It's okay if it takes that time. And Frank's essentially saying, we didn't have the roster to support Bryce. So that's why that year sucked. And because we didn't have the roster to support the number one overall draft pick, I mean, you're the number one overall draft pick for a reason. Bro, it's going to look bad. It's not going to be peaches and cream. It's not going to be sunshine and rainbows. It's not going to look good. So for those of you who are sitting there on the other side of this screen, sitting there mad at Bryce and saying, oh, he should have turned it around year one. How, Sway? How could he have done it? Please tell me. I will sit. Look. I'll sit here and wait, bro. Honestly. Honest to God. Bryce did what he could. Frank did what he could. Granted, I know Frank Wright gets the sack because more times than not, the coach gets the sack more than the players. And they just spent all those assets to get Bryce Young. So because of the fact that they were doing bad, they weren't going to get rid of Bryce that easily. Frank was the sacrificial lamb. However, Frank wasn't the worst guy. If I'm being honest, if I'm being truthful, yes, there is a video on my YouTube channel about getting rid of Frank Reich. But if I'm being 100% truthful, I had more faith in Frank Reich than I did Matt Rule when we signed him.
Huh?
Yes. I had way more faith in Frank Reich than I did Matt Rule. So that's my thought process. But to see Frank just sit there and say, hey, I'm happy for Bryce, I do love that, and I enjoy seeing stuff like that. Now, this last one, I ain't got a graphic for it, but I do want y'all to think about this. And it's more so picking between two stars. Because right now, currently in the NFL, we all know Trey Hendrickson and the Cincinnati Bengals are not on good terms. Cannot come even to a term on their contract. Try to figure that out. But also, just recently, in the land of Dallas, there's some strife going on. And Micah Parsons has openly admitted, hey, yo, if his time's up in Dallas, his time is up. So, Carolina, now I pose you the question. Who would you bring in? Would you bring in Trey Hendrickson? Or would you bring in Micah Parsons? And I'm asking this because I think this is a actually really good question. I think this question provokes some deep conversation. Micah Parsons is younger. Trey Hendrickson has been better since Micah Parsons came into the league. However, both would be very, very, very expensive to sign. So it all comes down to what's going to happen there. If I had to take a guess, I am choosing Trey Hendrickson. He has more sacks, more tackles for loss. He seems as though he's way better in stopping the run. And I know a lot of people aren't going to believe that because, one, y'all don't even watch Cincinnati Bengals games like that to know about Trey Hendrickson like that. That's first and foremost. Before any of you sit there and say, how can I pick Trey Hendrickson over Micah Parsons? Y'all don't watch Cincinnati games, so you don't know about Trey Hendrickson. As quiet as it's kept. As quiet as it's kept, man. So, that's who I would be picking in this situation. But I do know it's going to cost an arm and a leg to get him. And that's just going to be a pain in the buttocks to get. However, if we do, hey, Carolina, you made a fool out of me. Made a fool out of me. You made a fool of me. If you know that song, hey, if you know, you know. If you know, you know. But with all that being said, guys, we are going to get into today's favorite segment, which is always Panther Nation. Time for you to stand up and speak your truth, baby. Number one, first comment comes from Momo Fish _ says, listen, I'm sad to see Jewel leave, but fear not, my brothers. Panthers Nation, we have an absolute dog on the roster named Tuasavi Numora. I'm praying with all my crazy little heart that he gets his opportunity, and he is Frankie Louvu 2.0. Go watch his highlights. You'll be amazed. Plays like his hair is on fire. It's just something about them Samoan boys. Keep pounding. Hey, listen. I hope you're right. And I'm going to go look up his highlights. So I'll give you a rundown of what I think next week. And that's going to be one of my topics. Not even next week. Probably tomorrow. I ain't going to make you wait that long. I'll give you an update tomorrow about it. So, Momo, it was not even Momo. It's Mofo. Mofo Fish. Mofo, we going to talk about it. We going to figure it out. Next comment comes from Jarman369. He says, are you having a stroke? Listen, dog, when you're recording this one take, easy bake, no, put in the oven, no mistake, sometimes you just slip up, bro. It happens. I'm not editing these. I'm not cutting these up. Sometimes, hey, I just stumble on the words and I'm speaking too fast for my brain and it happens. So, yep. Ergo ego, I'm having a stroke. Can't even deny it. And then lastly, comes from, actually, did this come from Charlie? Oh, this him. Nah. So the comment actually came from the Grunting Bear. I apologize for not changing that out. That's on me. That's on me, my boy. But the Grunting Bear, this is his comment. He says, I love Cam and agree we should retire number 1. To play devil's advocate, shouldn't someone also make it to the Hall of Fame before retiring their jersey? I'm going to say this, and this is actually an easy answer for me. No. You shouldn't have to make the Hall of Fame before retiring your jersey due to the fact that the Hall of Fame and their criteria for making it there is different for what you did for your franchise. You can be great for your franchise, and the Hall of Fame just sit there and be like, oh, well, you're just another dude, bro. You're just another guy. You're just another, hey. You know what I mean? Nobody's going to sit there and say that Mike Minter is one of the greatest DBs of all time. Nobody's going to put that in their conversation just naturally off the top of their tongue. But is Mike Minter one of the greatest DBs in Carolina Panthers history? Absolutely. Absolutely. So, in my mind, you don't have to make the Hall of Fame to get your jersey retired by your franchise. That's just me. That's what I feel. But y'all can let me know. But guys, that's all I have for today's video. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell at the bottom so you can always be notified of when these videos are dropping. Next, let me know, 1, how did you feel about the day 3 updates in regards to the signing of Sewell, Ethan Garbers getting waived. Let's see. Jimmy Horn being shown to field punts. Damani Richardson getting some interceptions and Umami Ellen's strip sack. 2, what do you think about Frank Reich's thoughts in regards to Bryce Young? And do you think Frank honestly got, for lack of a better term, screwed just because of how bad the team was at the time? And 3, who are you picking if you could bring one in? Micah Parsons or Trey Henderson? Let me know in the comments below, because at the end of the day, what do I know? I'm just a skinny brother with 2 tats. Peace. Much love, all you Panthers Nation. Take care. Later days. And as always, keep pounding. I'll see you next time.